Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about the new collection from Nomad Cosmetics. So last year they launched their Nomad Air collection, which had a travel palette, a bag, and then some skincare products, which I really enjoyed. Was really happy with that collection. I've used that bag to travel with and might again soon. I have a couple trips coming up, and they just expanded it with 3 more mini palettes. So they did send this to me in PR. I'm probably the last person to have a video up on these just because I was sick when these came and I'm now just catching up. So we're gonna swatch all of them, try them out, probably some kind of combination of all 3 on the eyes, and see if it's the same quality or what the formula is like. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make, be it talking about a new product or just talking about things I already know and love. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. So I am still playing catch up from life being hectic for a week and then getting a sinus infection. Finally, not really sniffling anymore. I can breathe, feeling normal. So it is Memorial Day weekend, had a busy weekend with a couple gym classes and a whole day like out of the city with my best friend and her husband and my husband. So finally sitting down to film. I do have a couple trips coming up, so I might even bring one of these with me. I'm going to LA this week for 4 days. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to edit this tomorrow and get it up ASAP, and then tomorrow I'll film 1 or 2 more things. So I have a little bit of stuff coming. I get ready with me, trying some new products, some of which are on my face right now, and then some other stuff that I have planned. So let's get into the collection details. This is the expansion to the Nomad Air collection that came out last year. So last year there was a travel palette, which I was not with my makeup. I have like I have my Lisa Eldridge travel bag there. Everything else is with my suitcase and other travel stuff downstairs. We have like a storage thing. So forgot to grab that, but it is, I will put a picture here. It is really nice. I've traveled with it. It works really well. It's a nice bag. Good quality, really cute. It has little airplanes as the tags. So the original palette is still available as well. I don't remember if the skincare is, but there was a hydrating mist, which is really nice. There was a lip salve, which I use all the time, especially when I had my sinus infection. I was wearing it a lot because I could use my finger and wash my hands and didn't have to worry about putting something on my face. And it was very hydrating when you're blowing your nose constantly. And then there was one more product that I'm blanking on at the moment, but really enjoyed that collection and happy they've expanded it. So the original palette was this one. It was a neutral palette, and now we've got 3 new ones. We've got a cool neutral palette, a warm palette, and a green palette. So this is the Abu Dhabi. Each one is themed after, instead of just like a travel palette, each one's themed off of an airport, which goes along with Nomad's whole vibe and tradition of location-based and travel-based palettes. So this is the Abu Dhabi one, this one is Oslo, and this one is Canadian Rockies. These are all 6-pan palettes. Hopefully the quality is just as good as everything else they've been putting out. They do have a 12-month shelf life, they're cruelty-free, vegan, all of that. And they retail for $22 a piece before discount code. There's also some bundles. I think there's a bundle with all of the new ones. There's also one where you can get like all 4 if you didn't pick this one up. And I know for like 80 something, there is a bundle that's all of them with the bag. And they did restock the bag, which is also like 20 something dollars. So this is the original Nomad Air palette. You can see a 6-pan palette. They're all the same size. It just says Nomad Air. I liked the Pan Am vibes that they gave for it. And it was just a neutral all-around travel palette. I think this is a really good travel palette because it's neutrals and you've got light to dark, you've got more of a rose gold shimmer, a light champagne for like an inner corner, or if you're more fair, you can put it all over your lid, and then like a nice dark chocolatey smoky brown. So you can do a lot of stuff. I think this is a really versatile travel palette, and I will definitely be traveling with it this summer because I do have, like I said, a couple trips planned. These are the new ones. So these each have a different design, and I think these are super cute. So this is the Canadian Rocky Mountain one. So this is the green palette. This is the Oslo one, which is the cool neutrals. And then this is the Abu Dhabi one. So this is, I have not touched or used any of these yet. So this is the Abu Dhabi one. So you've got 4 mattes, 2 shimmers, I think in all of them. So you've got a light matte, like a almost bone, like a cream color. You've got a nice pale shade. This is more of a warm brown, and this one's a little more reddish tone. And then you've got 2 shimmers, 1 more copper, 1 more kind of pinky rose gold, but different from this one. There's a lot more warmth. So if you want to see them side by side, you can see this is very neutral and this is very warm in comparison. And then we've got the Oslo one, cool neutrals. So you've got a light gray, kind of mid-tone gray, mid-tone kind of taupe, and then more of a dark charcoal. And then we've got 2 shimmers that look really pretty, like really shiny. There's more of a silver, and this one kind of has a pinky taupe look to it. Really excited to try this. I know Steven already tried this and was in love and said the formula is great, so excited for this. If you want to see that next to the original. So here are them next to each other, so you can really see this is very much neutral, and this is cool. So I think these will also work really well together, but if this wasn't cool enough for you, you now have a nice cool option. And then the last one, which will probably end up being my favorite because it's my favorite color, this is the green one. So I did accidentally stab one of the shades with the little sheet, but you've got 4 mattes, 2 shimmers again. You've got a light kind of sage kind of green. It looks a little blue-green. This shade right here, Find Your Peak, does look a little bit more blue. Then you've got kind of a greeny neutral, an actual green, and then a green shimmer and a blue shimmer. So, but they have a lot of sparkle, like especially this one, the river rafting. I see gold, I see blue, I see green. There's a lot of sparkle in here. So really excited to try these out. And again, it compared to the original Nomad Air palette. I think these two will be really nice companions together. So let's do swatches real quick, and then we'll do a look just to kind of test the formulas and see how they work. I'm just gonna swatch in the back of my hand. I am wearing long sleeves today. The weather turned kind of cold and rainy again. The high today was like 65, so I wore shorts and a sweatshirt. But I didn't feel like changing. So we're just gonna do them on the back of my hand. No primer, no lotion. This is just so you can see them against my skin tone, especially if you are a similar olive undertone or similar depth to me. So starting with the neutral, this is the Oslo palette. So we've got the shade Minimal. I'm gonna ruin the embossings, which always makes me sad. And like I said, it is a pale gray. Yeah. Definitely, it's looking brighter as it reflects the light from my light, but it's just a light gray. Then we've got Practical. These are very silky. Mid-tone gray. Natural. Kind of slightly deeper than mid-tone taupe gray. And then we've got Functional, which is the charcoal. I think this is a nice range, goes very light to pretty deep. So let's see, so we've got, yeah, these are very smooth. It looks basically white on me. I have seen people lighter than me swatch this, and it doesn't look as white on them, but you know, that's what skin tone, why skin tone and swatches on different skin tones matter so much. So there are the cool neutral mattes. You can definitely see that more taupe undertone in this one. So if you don't want it to go totally gray, I'm probably gonna use these 2 shades the most. Maybe that as an inner corner. And then the 2 shimmers in here, we've got Nordic Cool, which is the silver. It's a really pretty silver. It definitely has a little bit of smokiness to it, so like it's reflecting really strong silver, but if I hold it this way, I do see like kind of a gray to it that's less silver. Hopefully that makes sense. And then Democratic Design. This one's very smooth. And yeah, it's kind of a pinky taupe. That's really pretty. Okay, so those are very smooth, very reflective. This feels like, I mean, Nomad's formula's always been good, but I feel like it definitely improved in the last year, and these feel like their others. So if you like a cool tone smoky eye, this is gonna be a really good everyday or travel palette for you. Okay, so let's do the greens next. So this is the Canadian Rockies palette. So we've got Moose Crossing here in the middle. I'm trying to do them in light to dark. And then we've got Brave the Bears. These are very silky soft. Both very light, but you can see that blue undertone there. And this is that like pale green, but fairly neutral green. Then we've got Find Your Peak, which is the more blue tone shade. This is definitely giving like Forest Lake. And then Take a Hike is the green matte. It's really pretty. I do wish there was one more darker one, but you could use the charcoal from this one or the dark shade from the original to deepen these up, especially if you get all of them. You don't have to go smoky with every look, I just kind of tend to. These are really pretty. So we've got, yeah, that's definitely sagey. Looks a little less blue swatched out. But it is very much, yeah, it is just a bright matte sage. And then the more green. This will be a really nice inner corner shade. Then a teal, that's really pretty. And the green. The green does have a decent amount of depth. You might be able to see how much we can pack up with that. It's really pretty. And then the two shimmers, there's the green one, which is Mountain Calling, and River Rafting is the blue. These are really pretty. So hopefully you can kind of see what I mean about the sparkle, how they're not like a shifty shade, they're not a multi-chrome, but there's micro sparkles, and Nomad does this a lot in their shimmers of other shades, and I think it's the most apparent in the blue. I mean, the green, you can see a little bit of gold reflect in there, but hopefully you'll see that micro sparkle in the blue. So those are really pretty. This is definitely, I think, my favorite. But, you know, I'm a sucker for green. And then the last is the Abu Dhabi palette, the warm tone palette. So we've got this cream shade, which is really pretty. Inner quarter, I know some people will probably set their eyeshadow or set their base with this like Tom does. I use this kind of shade as like an inner corner highlight. Rising Dunes is this, it's kind of a pinky toned, yeah, kind of a peachy pink, really pale. Then we've got Spice Market, which is the more brown shade. It's really pretty, nice warm brown, very orangey brown. Goes well with my sweatshirt. And then Endless Sands is the red. This is really pretty. Reminds me of one of the YSL quads that I was thinking of buying. Okay, so we've got cream shade. Definitely a warm tint to it. It's like cream, but there's a little bit of that peach to it. And then the pale peach. Yeah, there's a hint of pink, so it'll work well with if you have pink or peach in your undertone. Like your skin undertone. The nice warm red. I love a red like this. Or warm brown. And then there's the red. Not much for red eyeshadow personally, but I do know a lot of people love it. I will probably stick with the brown. And then the two shimmers, We've got Desert Oasis, which is this copper, and then Golden Hour is the more red copper. So this is more golden copper and more red copper. These are really pretty. Very foiled. Really goes a long way. I will probably use this shade the most. Do a really nice monochromatic look, like dust a little of that all over the lid, and then put this on the lid. And if you need a little depth, you could pick up Oslo or the dark shade from the original one. That's really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off and then we're gonna do a look. I don't think we'll combine necessarily all of them because red plus cool, but I'm gonna figure something out, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of my NARS eye primer down. If you're interested in my makeup today, I will have it in the description box like always, but I did use some new products that I will try in a video hopefully this week as well. So I did get one of the new Mario liquid bronzers, the Soft Sculpt Serum Bronzer or whatever it's called. Got the shade medium. It is really nice. It is very sheer. You can build it up. I've worn it. This is the third time I've worn it. And the way I wore it today, which I can do in that video if you'd like to see it that way, is I just kind of put it all over with a fluffy brush, kind of warmth to add some warmth to my skin. It has a nice texture that it kind of evens everything out, but didn't make my skin look too warm. It didn't look like I had bronzer all over. And then I used concealer under my eyes and around my jawline where I had some redness from shaving and stuff. And then one of the new House Labs glassy blushes, the Tangelo shade. And then I grabbed another one of the YSL lips, so I'm wearing that. And then Hourglass powder, brows is Kosas, just kind of an everyday look, but using that bronzer all over instead of just a little bit dusted over at the end. But I really like the way my skin has come out. So, and you can see I could build it up if I wanted a little bit more, but just a light layer kind of just warmed my skin, but didn't really like change it. Especially because I've been in the sun more, it just kind of made it look like I was just recently in the sun. I want to try to use a mixture of them. I think I'm going to start with the natural shade from this, and then I don't know if I will use this one today. Maybe we'll use this as an inner corner shade. And then I'm going to try, I think, the green matte here. We'll see. I'm going to use this shade as a transition. We'll see. But I'm going to start with natural. So I already have my eye primer down. I'm just going to pick up a brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of natural. Picks up nicely. And I'm just going to put that out here. So definitely cool toned and decent amount of depth from that. Like you can go darker. Oh, I should zoom in a little. But you can see there's a decent amount of depth from that. And I'm just gonna buff that into the crease and kind of see what this one shadow can do. I could probably just have this be my only matte and throw a shimmer on and call it a day, but you know, I'm gonna try a few things since there are 3 palettes. I wanted to, you know, do a look per palette and all of that, but I just did not have time since it came while I was sick. I really like the way this looks blended out. Okay, really like the way that looks. Sculpted the eye nicely. I could just use this shade and put a shimmer on the lid and be done with it, but I'm gonna keep adding just because. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this like light kind of green undertone shade and just kind of dust it right here. I wanna see, I don't hate that, but it's not exactly what I want either. But it's not bad. It is a lighter shade, and it is pulling cool, mixing with that. Okay, okay. And then, because I don't want to pull too cool tone, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the cream shade from the Warm palette. And I'm gonna put that right there as my inner corner. I'm gonna buff that in. I'm gonna buff it over the green shade. I don't know if I'll end up, maybe I'll use the green shimmer. Yeah, I'll just use the green shimmer. So I'm just gonna buff that over. Yeah, that's a really good inner corner brightening shade. Pat it up here too if you wanted to brighten the brow bone. Okay. And then let's take, and then I'm gonna take a really small brush and pick up the dark shade Functional. And this is a Rephr 14 mini, by the way, but it's just really small. And I'm gonna put that out here. I just want a little bit more depth, but I don't wanna go too smoky, which is why I picked a small brush. So I can really control. I like this because I can brush along the lash line and also into the outer part of the crease. Okay, that is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so let's try the green shimmer. Just gonna pick it up with my finger. Really pretty. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. There's definitely some gold in there. Less of a shift, but like the little gold specks really add to the dimension of the shadow. It's one of the things I like about Nomad shimmers. You can use a brush with this too and pick up a little bit on this. It's smooth enough that you can buff the edges. I really like that. So I basically just contoured the eye with the mattes and then threw this all over. So I really like that. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this on the other eye and we'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and repeated this on the other eye, and then I did take a little bit of this shade that I briefly brushed here and put it underneath my eyes just to kind of see what it looks like by itself. It is a little smoky and a little cool toned. So excited to try that like on the lid to buff out the green shade. I think that'll work really well. But I just wanted to put a little bit of something down there. And then I just finished off the look with my Loose Eldridge mascara since I was already done. Really like the way this turned out. Really easy. Could have been like a 2-minute eye look if I wasn't so indecisive. But if I could have, you know, throwing a couple of these mattes on, or even just this matte, throwing one of these shimmers on, or, you know, like I did, one of these, I think the blue would have looked really nice as well. I think these are really pretty. I think the shades were really well selected. I kind of wish the green and the warm tone one had a little bit more depth, but I think they'll build depth well. And if you get the set, or you get the neutral, the cool one, or the original one as well, depending on if you want neutral, or cool, you have a dark shade that you can mix in there as well. So I think these are really pretty. I think they did a really good job, and I'm really glad that they expanded the like travel theme. I'm excited to see what else they do in this. I hope Nomad Air continues. I'm really excited to see what they do. So let me know what you think, but I really like this look. Okay, let's zoom back out. Okay, so I really like this. This is a really pretty green. I think it works well with the neutrals. I could do monochromatic with the green. I could use these. I think it would work well with these. I think they picked really flattering tones. I think my favorite is gonna end up being the Oslo, and I think it's probably gonna be the most popular. I haven't really seen, but I know cool neutrals are kind of having a moment. This kind of reminds me of a more pigmented, more shiny, less sparkle, more shiny version of the YSL quad I have. Like, you know, you have 2 more shades, and the metallics are a little bit more metallic. The shimmers are a little more metallic than like just sparkle, but it's a similar vibe. So I think these kind of remind me of like luxury quads that I either have or have seen that, but like the 6-pan indie version of that, which I think is a really smart choice. So let me know what you think about these. Have you already picked any of them up? Are you planning to? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Excited they brought back the bag, and I like that you can get it as a bundle with all of them. I think this is a really well done little collection. So let me know what you think of the quads, or not quads. Let me know what you think of the palettes, what you think of the look, all of that. Can't wait to talk to you all in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.